Well, Nigeria has so much potential, so much capacity that some say Nigeria is able to feed not just itself, but other countries. Some people say we can feed the world in some sense, but how well are we feeding ourselves and, of course, feeding the world? We're joined on the program by the founder, Canadian Black Farmers Association, Tony Kayo-Ajayi, is our guest on the show this morning. I want to talk about Nigeria's food export boom. Tony, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning. Nice to have me.
Thank you. I know, again, you've had to stay really early to speak, or stay up late, rather, to speak with us. But it's for the good of the nation and the good of the world. But for those who always hear about this potential, but they look around and they see the reality and they say, we've not even fed ourselves. We're talking about food insecurity, but we're talking about the export boom. Am I missing something here? And you are here to provide us with that missing link. What are we missing here, and what is the potential?
Yeah, thank you for having me. You introduced me as a Canadian Black Farmer founder. I've been farming in Canada for over 22 years, and that's why I created the opportunity for the Canadian Black people to get into agriculture. Yeah, when we look at worldwide right now, we look at music. Our movie industry is global. Same thing with our food. Our food is actually every cultural background now. They are actually exploring and experimenting and looking at Nigerian food. You see, when you say Africa, it's almost like you're talking about Nigeria.
Yeah.
In any way you go, everybody is trying. You want to talk about gusi, our paradiyam, our even our begiri, our every kind of food, everything that comes from Nigeria, and the way it's growing, it's very shocking. That's one of the reasons which I also try and kind of come up with a way, because I know what we are supplying internationally is not enough. It can't meet the demand. So, and that's what I'm trying to put it in such a way that people can actually grow the food locally here in Canada, and then get to be able to, to fill in the gap where that we know that is missing, that we cannot supply enough locally. So there's a lot of food we know in Nigeria. When you look at our Nigeria, we don't produce enough to even cater for our population. But at the same time, the demand globally, especially for the Nigerians and abroad, is increasing every day. So we have to step it up a little bit. Maybe one of the things I also talk about, which I've been doing lately, is also to see many of our people, because of the importing and exporting, custom duties and all that. Sometimes we get into a lot of issue because some of the food that they bring from like Nigeria, once it gets here, some of them 50% to maybe 40 to 50% of them is unedible when it gets to like Canada or any other Western country. So finding a way to actually be able to grow it locally here is another solution, which we can also look into. So also I'm trying to get in people that you don't see the opportunity that is there, something that we're not counting to be big deal back home. It's actually something that is a big money making venture for anybody that's not even looking at that area. You can actually be able to come to this kind of country. We are creating the opportunity with the Canadian government for any African or Nigerians especially to come over here to actually be able to establish and explore the opportunity in growing our cultural food back home here locally.
So let me get this correctly, because this is very interesting. Right here in Nigeria, you can grow all the things we eat. So you want to grow vegetable, ugu, yam, and all of that. Yeah. You can grow it well here because of the soil type we have in Nigeria. But when you go to other parts, Canada, for example, you begin to hear that the soil type is maybe different. But, I tried to check the soil profile, and I'm seeing some sort of similarity. I'm seeing glycolic in Canada. I'm seeing glycols also in Nigeria. So please, what kind of food can you grow in Canada? Can you grow yam? Can you grow ugu? How successful? Someone is asking, can you grow ogbono? How successful is it?
Thank you. For the past 5 years, although I've been farming here in this country for over 22 years, but for the past 5 years, I made it my own mission to see how viable it is to grow our food in in Nigeria here because I know the demand is so high, the stores cannot supply that. So I started experimenting. I have my own farms here in Canada, and I raise our local Nigerian goats here. So I said, I'm going to raise the goat, and I'm going to use the manure to actually grow our food here. Let me just cut it short. To your surprise, you know, when you look at what we grow in Nigeria, our soil is loam soil, right? We use loamy soil. That is what we use. But in Canada here, especially British Columbia, we have silt separate. We have clay separate. We have sand separate. The combination of those three makes loamy soil. Then I will add the manure from my goats. I will add it to the soil. Then I will get some chook, which is chicken manure. I will add it to it. And some mushroom manure. With that combination, I actually created the soil for bags so that it can go to stores across Canada. People can actually be able to experiment and grow this behind in their backyard or in their patio for their own to consume at home. And for the goodness of it, luckily enough, I was able to grow everything you mentioned here in Canada.
And let's be sure.
I have grown it.
Are you growing yam?
I have grown yam. I have even grown cassava.
So we can make pounded yam with yam grown in Canada.
We can.
Have you grown ugu vegetable?
I have grown ugu.
So we can make egusi with the ugu in.
I have grown bitter leaf. I have grown water yam. I have grown our garden egg, the tiny one, the bitter one. I haven't tried in Canada are maybe like our major big tree fruits, or maybe the same with that one. I've already experimented it, like for example, agbalumo, which the evil side call it udara. We can graft the tree to an apple tree here, and it will grow.
I don't know. This is great, but I hope you're not giving people another reason to want to jack by saying that I can grow these things.
Let me just add something to that.
Yeah.
You know what I would say to our because I know a lot of Nigerians, they like to explore and invest.
Yeah.
Canada right now is one of the best places you want to invest in agriculture here, because the opportunity is huge, it's massive. The demand for our food here in the West, even here, like what I'm saying, here, we can't meet the demand. If we have more than 500 Nigerian farming in Canada here, the market is there. The market is there.
I want us to make this point as we wind down, because the world, the way it is now, is a global village, and it's important to learn and maybe sort of localize solutions. What is maybe the biggest difference in the farming system there and perhaps what obtains here? Because you look excited as a farmer. The way you are talking about farming, I even want to start farming right away. But you speak to farmers back here sometimes, some of them are not excited. So what is different? Is it government intervention? Is it the personal drive? What exactly is different for you as we wind down?
It's a combination of both. Personal drive. You know, to be a farmer, you must have passion for it. That's number one. You're not going into farm just because you want to start making money. Once you have a passion for it, you go in fully. And also, government. Okay, look at me now. Last week, Canadian agricultural government, like Canada.
The agency.
The agency in Canada, for the federal. They set up a meeting with me to just see where am I, what are the things I will need. It's just like in Nigeria. Let's say a local boy, I'm from Ekiti State, okay? And let's say I'm a local boy in Ekiti, I'm growing something. And then the federal government, Ministry of Agriculture, and the minister, they called me on Zoom, and the ministry, they want to know what I will need. What are the tools I need to keep this thing going? And also, what are the things they would need to support me with so that I can empower more people?
There you go.
See, government hands on. I said something in one of the networks not long ago. I said, locally, like in the local government level, government can support people. So that's the best thing.
There you go.
Passion and government involvement.
So something to learn there, but we have to appreciate you for sharing your experience and for growing our food Thank you so much. We've been speaking with
Thank
Mr.
you.
Tony
Thank you for having me.
Ajayi, founder Canadian Black Farmers Association, joined us from Vancouver, Canada. It's cheery to hear that our food is now international. Thank you once again.
Thank you.